There. Welcome to another episode of stupid, scary stories. So far, we've talked about the Revenge of the Corn, Night of the Rice. But what can we talk about this Friday, 2021, 4:05 p.m. What? Sinister things do happen in the daytime. It's not always nighttime bangs and bumps and ghouls. Sometimes the worst things can happen right in front of your face, right before your eyes in the light of day. I've seen it. Oh, the terror of it all. Tired. I'm not quite sure if I'm ready for the things that potentially could happen. If I tell you all to be very, very afraid. You all know this enemy of ours very well. He's in your food, refrigerator, cakes, pies, rice. This reaches far. And the story, is the story of two forces coming together to give us high sodium as well as high cholesterol, clogging the arteries, sending the blood pressure spiking higher than it's ever been before. Death looming around the corner. The pain that grips you. His name is Butter. That's right. Butter. You know his cousin Marjoram, but nothing like Butter. With his delicious, creamy, salted taste, melting on your biscuits just so deliciously. You just can't think of a life without butter. But in the dark times, the times known as the Butterless, it was a terror unlike any had known. Food was bland, gravies lacked. It was a world where pancakes were dry and eggs just weren't the same. Margarine tried to fill the void. Miserably, he tried to shoulder the burden left behind by the absence of butter. But there was just no comparison. And then you had those named things like, I can't believe it's not butter. Huh. I can't believe it's not. I couldn't believe that they thought that they could pull that bullshit. Because more like it. But they did think that they could. And they tried as they would. But they failed. But let me explain to you why. Let me explain to you why there was the Butterless Times. Maybe we should go back a little bit. Yes. It started simple enough as most conflicts do. Butter feeling it was being taken for granted by the human race once again. Splashing them into the nooks and crannies of a Thomas English muffin with an egg sitting on top. Delicious the egg was. With the cheese and the sausage and the bacon and maybe the ham if you wanted to go for the heart attack special. Oh, the butter just felt so good on a stack of flapjacks. It melted. Its creamy saltness mixing with the sweetness of the fucking maple syrup, just making a combination of flavor which made the Butterless Times some of the worst that the human race has ever seen in life. Worse worse than almost being extinct by the asteroids that fell. Worse than all of those things put together. It was worse. It was worse, I tell you. It was worse. The butter. Well, one day the butter, while making a pan of crepes for a very wealthy man who owned a butter factory, he asked for better treatment of the ingredients. He wanted the cream to be more in tune with the sodium and salt mixture. The owner of the place looked at him and said, "Get the fuck out of here. What the hell do you think you're doing telling me what the fuck I'm going to do with my goddamn recipe? I've been making butter this way since there was fucking butter. Go over there and sit down before I put you on my goddamn blueberry fucking muffin I just got from Dunkin' Donuts because it's hot and it's got those nice sugar crunchy things on it. So you might do quite well just to be quiet." The butter, he brewed it in the back. He went home that night to his little butter droplets, his half-stick wife. She was always writing, always just saying crazy fucking things to me. He was just like tired of it, doing the best he fucking could. He didn't know what else to do. He was doing everything he could. He'd go to work. You have to listen to this fucking asshole telling him what butter's supposed to be. It's like, me telling you how you're supposed to do you. It just doesn't make any sense. And he had to suffer this for years, watching his people melted on pancakes and all types of delicious foods, adding to the flavor palate that makes us all crave it, mouths watering for the melted butter flavor that just tastes so fucking good. He didn't know how to comprehend this, hated by his own family for the sacrifices that he made. It was terrible. He felt isolated. He felt alone. He decided one day, you know what? Fuck this. I'm fucking sick and damn fucking tired of all the fucking bullshit. He went into the closet, a place he hadn't been in since his days as an executioner, where he used to cut the long sticks of butter into the little tablets that you see when you buy it and it's already pre-cut and shit, so it's like a perfect tablespoon. Yeah, he used to be that guy. He used to be the guy that did that shit. So it weighed heavy on his butter soul. Angry. He started to feel the internal melt. He knew he didn't have a lot of time left. Once a stick of butter goes into this mode, there's no real bringing it back. He didn't going back in the refrigerator. He would just be that melted butter that gets stuck to the paper. And then you're annoyed with it because it's not really butter, because half of the creamy goodness is frozen to one side and all the real buttery part is leaked out and spilled everywhere. And he didn't want to be that before he exacted his revenge on everyone. So as he looked in the closet at his butter knife, thoughts, they ran through his head. They ran through his head. He was overcome with the rage. He went into the room where his half-stick wife was sleeping, and he cut her into half teaspoons. And then he cut those half teaspoons into even smaller portions of measurement that I'm not going to mention right now because I can't remember them all. It was almost like he was a baker. He was preparing portions to cook buttery pancakes. And then he did cook buttery pancakes with his wife. It was terrible. See, he had known for some time that his boss and wife were fooling around. His wife wasn't always a half-stick butter. At one point, she was a whole 3/4 sticks. But the boss liked the sweet cream taste. So he was doing a little shaving of his best employee's wife. That also just added to the insanity in his mind. So after making a big, fluffy plate of pancakes, mixing it with his chopped up deceased wife, he then went into the room, the nursery. No, not the butter droplets. Not the butter droplets. If you are squeamish, you should stop now, because what he does next is terrifying to those with children. I shudder at the thought of ever doing something like this to my own offspring. But yes, he took his 8 little butter droplets that made up 2 tablespoons, and he put them into a small glass, dish if you will, and he brought that dish to the microwave. He melted it down! He melted it down! You could hear them sizzling and bubbling. Cries came from the microwave as the sizzle stopped and the popping ended. He removed his glass. You could start to see his creamy goodness leaking out of the bottom of the paper. His time was up. He had moments. He walked in to his boss's room. He had sprinkled a hefty amount of rat poison in the melted butter. He said, "Boss, got the best pancakes you're ever gonna taste in life." His boss looked at him and said, "You seem extra happy today, Lando. Have you had lakes of success?" "Yes, I have, actually." "Where's Blue Bonnet?" "Oh, she will be joining us a little bit later." "The kids too." "You alright there, Lando? You seem a little tense." "Actually, I'm very concerned that these pancakes are up to snuff. You know, yesterday I had a suggestion that you kind of shut down my throat. Hurt my feelings, so I figured the best way to approach the topic is over a plate of delicious, fluffy pancakes. I put a lot into these pancakes. In fact, my whole family put themselves into these pancakes." "Oh, Lando, you know what? How can I say no to that? You know, Blue Bonnet and the kids love them to death. I remember when she was 3/4 of a stick." That good old sweet cream. Yes, that good old sweet cream. Here, sir. Eat it. Lando, these are fucking... God damn it, Lando. You have outdone yourself. Try some of the melted butter. It's got a special sugaring to it. At a Christmas, as it mixes in with your maple syrup, sir. Lando, you know, if I didn't know any better, I'd swear that this fucking pancake almost tastes like the sweet cream. Oh, you know the sweet cream I'm talking about. Yeah, actually, I do know the sweet cream that you talk about. You should be very familiar with that taste. She used to be 3/4 of a stick. Didn't think I was going to notice when she became half a stick. John. Lando. I'm not quite sure I like your tone right now. Why are you looking at me like that, Lando? You seem a little hot under the collar there. You're melting right out of your fucking your rap. Lando. Lando. Wait. Yes. Yes. It's all over. I love the pizza. Yep.
fuck with the sweet cream, people. That sweet cream can get you in a whole lot of trouble. I mean, after that happened, of course, we couldn't fuck with butter. All of them started thinking like that. Like, they didn't understand. Some like the sweet cream, some like the salted, some like the non-salted. Personally, I like all three, depending on the situation and cooking. It caused a deep rift between us. We had to do away with butter for a very long time. And it pains me to even be reminded of those times. They were just tasteless and bland. And like I said, there was just like nothing. The life expectancies of humans went up, though. I mean, there were less heart attacks, less hypertension, less blood pressure issues. Actually, it was a golden age of health, just a dark age of taste. Thank you for joining me on another stupid, scary stories.